My name is Bill, and you are on Finest Travel Beat with Angela and Bill. Today we're going to take you to a truly amazing port and one of the highlights of the cruise we chose, which is Valletta, Malta. Malta is truly a Mediterranean gem, brimming with history, charm, character, unusual architecture, amazing culture. In the video, we're going to explore the city of Valletta. We did a harbor cruise, and we spent a little bit of time at Sliema before heading back to the old town in Valletta. As always, we're going to narrate throughout the video, telling you, give you some tips, some tricks, some information, tell you what we did, and then it's also part of what we did today that we really didn't like, and we'll explain that throughout the video. So sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy this video on the amazing port of Valletta, Malta. Thanks again for watching the video. This is a video of the sail-in. Now, due to winds, unfortunately, we could not stop at Mykonos, Greece. So there was a change in itinerary. We missed that port. But as a bonus, they got us into Malta a day early. We sailed in late in the afternoon. We had an overnight in Malta. It was Angela and I's first overnight. And the sail-in was absolutely breathtaking, as you can see from the opening footage. Just a very, very unusual city. The front deck of the ship, as you can see, was pretty crowded for the sail-in. It's a very unusual harbor. Valletta is famous for its harbors, historic streets. There's a modern-day lift with amazing views from the top of it. You'll see that later in the video. Now, this cruise was a long one. If you've been following the videos, we spent 3 days in Rome. We had a few stops in Greece. And when we got in here, we were pretty tired. So rather than getting off the ship and taking advantage of the night that we had, we decided to stay on the ship. Many people did get off the ship and had a great time. But as you can see here, the views of Valletta, Malta were just absolutely breathtaking, even from our balcony stateroom. And we were even treated to a little fireworks display that I understand was due to some big soccer match that was going on at the time. The little shopping area you can see right across there, we did get off and check that out. It was a Sunday night, so many of the things were closed. We did speak to fellow passengers, and many of them did go up into the lift, took the lift or walked up the stairs there. You'll see it a little bit later on, but if you look towards the top of the screen, that is actually where most of the shopping and restaurants are. And from the people we spoke to, they had an amazing time at some of the local restaurants, eating some of the local Maltese cuisine. We got up nice and early the next morning for our 9:15 departure. This is a 4.5-hour excursion. It was booked through Disney. It was titled the Harbor Cruise and Sliema Shopping. We picked a lot of our excursions. We went through Disney. These are all ports that we have never been to before. And also, we weren't really 100% sure how the language, if there was going to be language barriers or things like that. So, as you can see in most of our videos, from the cruise part, we pretty much went with the cruise line excursions. If we had to do it again, and if we went back again, and if I give you advice, I would most likely book through independent excursion tour operators. Just showing you, we're walking off of our ship, the Disney Dream. It was very, very easy to get to. The ship's dock right in the heart of Valletta. And as you can see, you just walk right across. There's plenty of shops. There was actually a Hard Rock Cafe there as well. And then a few minute walk, you can take the lift, the Barrakka Lift, up into the old town. This was actually filmed a little bit before our excursion left. We wanted to get a little bit of shopping in. Some of the shops had been closed the night before when we got in. So as you can see, it's really convenient. It's a very quick walk. The excursion we booked was, again, through Disney Cruise Lines. They do an excellent job. I don't want to trash them in any way, shape, or form, but cruise line excursions tend to be a little on the expensive side and also generally larger groups. But Disney really does a nice job. You're not waiting out on the port. There's no craziness trying to meet your excursion. They give you very clear spots to meet. Most of the times it's in the restaurants or in one of the theaters. It's very organized and very well run. As you can see, it's a really, really nice area here, right along the harbor. Some very, very expensive boats. Apparently, Malta is a place where a lot of people register their boats for tax purposes, and it's got a really nice little promenade here. Again, beautiful old architecture. Amazing doors in these different shops. And as you'll see probably in a couple of minutes, it was actually a Hard Rock Cafe. Lots of shopping. Also places to get sunscreen, T-shirts, different medicine if you needed, over-the-counter type medicine, and of course some beer. If you were on the Disney ship, you can bring a 6-pack of beer back in every port. As I've said before, it's a real nice savings. We hung out there for about an hour, headed back onto the ship, and as you can see, we met in one of the theaters for our excursion that afternoon. Very, very organized, as always with Disney. Now, the day started off with a quick shuttle ride over to Sliema, probably about a 20-minute to 25-minute ride to Sliema, where we picked up the vessel for the harbor cruise. I'm going to give you a quick tip here. Anytime you are on an excursion or taking a taxi or anything like that, before you get in, it's a really good idea to take a picture of the license plate or of the bus number or excursion information. A lot of these buses look very, very similar. We've had a few experiences where we weren't sure which bus was ours. And also, it's a really good idea in a taxi to do that because, God forbid, you leave something in the taxi, it'll be easy to track down. Let me give you some quick information about Malta. One of the interesting things is many cruise ships, most of the celebrity ships, I believe, are registered in Malta. Malta is one of Europe's smallest countries. It's only 122 square miles. Amazing history and personality. The population is just over 500,000, and geographically it's located kind of halfway between Sicily and the North African coast. A little bit closer to Sicily. The history spans thousands of years, including the Phoenicians, the Romans, Moors, Knights of St. John, and the British. So there is a real mix of culture and history and architecture. It's truly a melting pot of the Mediterranean. Now, as you can see here, we're kind of doing these switchbacks on the bus going up into the old town, as I'm calling it, but it's really the walled part of the city. It's all Valletta. But again, there are a couple of ways to get up there. You can take taxis or buses that will take you up the switchback. It's really very, very close, but it is uphill. You can walk it. You can see people did walk it. It's quite a walk, especially if it's hot. And then there's also a lift that is probably about a 5-minute walk from the cruise terminal, and you can take that lift up and down to get into the heart of the upper part of the walled city. This is the area you're looking at right now is Valletta. We're going to return to this area. We'll show you a lot more a little bit later in the video after we finished our harbor cruise and our time in Sliema. But as we go on, let me tell you a little bit more about Malta. The official languages are Maltese and English. We had no problem with English whatsoever on the trip. It was very easy to communicate with people, not a problem there at all. The currency is the euro. Euros were accepted all over. American dollars are not, as in most of Europe. Credit cards are widely accepted. The only thing I'll tell you is Discover really isn't accepted in Europe, so don't plan on using a Discover card throughout most of Europe. The primary industries are tourism, obviously, quite a bit of tourism. Shipping, they're very famous for shipping. Film, there have been many movies filmed, and also iGaming or online gambling. For whatever reason, a large percentage of Malta's income is derived from online gambling. We've arrived now in downtown Sliema. We'll walk around a little bit of that. We'll talk about it a little bit. The bus dropped us off a short walk from the the boat that we were doing for the harbor cruise. This is probably something you could do on your own as well. Take a taxi into Sliema and get any one of these water shuttles or water tour ships. There were plenty of them to be had. Once we were on the water, we spent some time cruising around Malta's two natural harbors, the Grand Harbour, which is the larger, the more famous one, and then I believe I'm pronouncing this correctly, Marsamxetto. The commentary was very good, pointed out various historical points, the massive walls, gave an overview of Malta's history, especially the Great Siege of 1565, and a lot of information on the bombings of World War II in 1942. Malta has been a very strategic part of history for many, many centuries. As we cruise around, to give you a little more information on Malta itself, it's predominantly a Roman Catholic country with over 90% of the population identifying as Catholic. Throughout its history, there is a lot of it. Most recently, it gained independence from the British in 1964 and did join the European Union in 2004. Now, I know this video is a little more history-driven than most of ours, but there's so much history in Malta that people don't know. I just want to give you a little bit more of it as we go through the video of the harbor, and then we'll get back into the more practical stuff. But I just want to go over quickly, as most people know, I'm a retired New York City police officer. I was also a volunteer firefighter, so I was very interested in the origins of the Maltese Cross. The Maltese Cross dates back to the 11th century. It's identified with the Knights of St. John, who were a group of Christian warriors during the Crusades. The Knights were given the island of Malta in 1530, and the Maltese Cross became their national emblem, which is actually on their flag. Now, the connection of firefighting is, especially during battles, especially during the siege of Rhodes and other conflicts, the Knights were known for rescuing fellow soldiers from burning buildings and protecting against firebombs in acts of extreme bravery. Because of their efforts, the Maltese Cross became to symbolize courage, selfless service in the face of danger, especially having to do with fire. So the Maltese Cross has been adopted by modern fire departments around the world as a badge of honor, representing protection, courage, sacrifice, and dedication. We really enjoyed the harbor ride. The weather was amazing. This was filmed in July. The breeze off the water was nice. We were able to get up really close to our cruise ship. Also, we saw some of the Maltese Navy, and then also a slip where a dry dock where they do some boat repairs as well. These walls were massive. You really got an appreciation for how strong Malta was as a fortress through this boat cruise. After our time on the boat, which was probably about 45 minutes, we had some free time in Sliema. The amount of time we had was a little over 2 hours, plenty of time to visit. Now, this is the part that we found a little bit disappointing, and we would probably do a little bit differently next time. Quite frankly, it's a nice seaside town, great spot to get the harbor cruises, but we felt it was a little bit too commercialized, a little too modern. There's really not much sightseeing to be seen here. It's much more of like a modern city. Now, Angela did find Marks and Spencer. Was recommended by one of the other people that we met on the excursion. They had all kinds of candies. It's basically a department store. One of the things Angela's kind of started doing is checking out the local potato chips in destinations. They had plenty of stuff here. So we did a little bit of snack shopping, brought some stuff back to the ship. Again, interesting with the potato chips, lots of wine. They had beer here as well. They did have clothes and things like that as also. We walked up a hill and into like a small little like 4-level shopping mall, I guess. It was very narrow and small. Now, I'm also going to point out here, this is the bathroom area. Now, you have to pay. There are machines where you can change it out, but the bathrooms in Europe and in Malta were not free, and they actually had somebody there that was One, making sure that the bathrooms were well maintained, but also making sure that you didn't sneak into the bathrooms without paying that €1. So you're definitely going to want to have some euro coins or some bills you can change into it around you all the time. This was like a little food court in a small area, just kind of showing you around a little bit so that you get a little idea. What was interesting about this food court is they did have cuisine from all over the world, even the South Pacific, Latin, pasta, things very different than we would find in food courts in the United States. We walked around Sliema for probably about a half an hour to 45 minutes. Again, it was beautiful. It was safe. There were no issues whatsoever. But it just felt a little bit like too much like shopping that we would have in an American city. And that's really not what we were looking for. We weren't looking for, the standard type of stores that we go to at home. We were looking for something a little bit, even tourist trap type of things. Someplace we get a little bit more of the local tchotchkes, so to speak. This was definitely more of an area where the locals would shop. Before we headed back, though, we did stop at a gelato place. Angela loves her gelato. I don't mind it as either. So we got a little bit of gelato. We sat at one of these tables, had the gelato, and then decided it was time to go back. Now, rather than waiting for the return shuttle to take us back, because we still had about an hour, we did let the shuttle driver know that we would that we'd be taking a taxi back. So we found the taxi stand right there. It was very simple. You go to the taxi dispatcher. They give you the amount of fare. Always, wherever you go, make sure that you know the taxi fare before you get into a taxi. We hear that in every one of our videos. It's a really important tip. The taxi dropped us off near the government buildings in Valletta. It is most of the streets in Valletta do not allow vehicles, as you see, they're very narrow. These streets were formed well before cars were invented, so they are, again, very narrow. Most of it pedestrian zone. It's a grid format. It is up and downhill. This area is up above the fortifications, so it's up on kind of top of the wall. So it was actually very good. The taxi where it dropped us off, we didn't have to climb uphill. As you can see here, there's a Pandora store. Angela, whenever we go to a new place, I get Angela a Pandora charm, and she gets me a Hard Rock Cafe pin. Not sure about the math of that, but it's something we do, and she's got several bracelets now, and I have a board of really nice pins. It's just one of those things that we kind of like to do. Valletta is beautiful. We did stop and got a little bit of pizza. The pizza was delicious. There are a ton of little cafes and places where you can get food and drink. Valletta was very different. It's one of our favorite places. The limestone buildings glowing in the sun, the beautiful balconies in red and green and blue. It was really like walking through history. It was like stepping back in time. We wandered the two of the main streets, Republic Street and Merchant Street. Again, lots of shops, cafes, some local vendors, lots of places to eat, sidewalk cafes. We didn't have much of a plan, just kind of checked out the shops, did a little bit of our shopping. We hit the tourist traps, but people get over it. We're tourists. We like the tourist stuff. We do like the local things, but we like to get our t-shirts and souvenirs and stuff like that to bring back home. As we walk through a little bit more of Malta and show you some of the amazing architecture and churches and cafes, let me take a quick second to ask you if you're getting value out of this video, if you're enjoying it, if it's helped you in any way, hit that like button. Also, please subscribe to the channel if you like to see other videos. It's absolutely free, and you'll get notified when we do more of the videos. We have over 200 videos on the channel of cruise ships, port guides, travel information. We have a lot more planned in the future, so hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. And it also tells YouTube that they should be showing our content to other people. Now, if you've been to Malta and did something differently, please let us know in the comments below. We're always interested to hear about what other people do so that we can pass this along to other people as well. And feel free to ask any questions in the comments below either. We answer all of them and try our best to give you accurate information. Now, a couple of practical tips. While going through Malta, there's a lot of steps that could get a little slippery. Throughout Europe was not necessarily built to be the most handicap accessible place in the world, so there's not a lot of railings. The surfaces are sometimes uneven. You can see here, this is a little bit of a road there, but lots of steps. There is a handrail there going down to the water. That's quite a distance down, but bring comfortable walking shoes, drink lots of water, take your time, take breaks, get in and out of the sun every now and then, wear nice and light clothing. Just pay attention that you don't overheat, especially in the summertime months. We spent a couple of hours walking around, and then we wanted to get over to the lift to get down to our cruise ship, so we gave that a little bit of time. One last overview of the harbor. Beautiful, beautiful spot here. Interestingly, we also found a plaque that was put up in 2019 honoring the U.S. Constitution and the United States for their combined assistance in the Barbary Wars of the early 1800s. I should have mentioned that the Barrakka Lift is not free. It does cost €1. Like I mentioned about the bathrooms, definitely have a few euros around with you in change. Euros are €1 are coins. The larger denominations are in bills, but definitely have some of that along with you. In the United States, we're used to not having cash at all. It's probably a good idea in Europe to have a few euros with you at all times. The ride down is very short, and then it's about a 5 to maybe 10-minute walk if you take your time getting back over to the cruise ship. There you can see the Barrakka Lift, how high it actually takes you up into the upper gardens. We absolutely loved our time in Malta and in Valletta. What we would do differently, though, is we probably would not take a cruise ship excursion. We would have skipped Sliema. Probably taking a taxi back and forth. If you were doing it, it would be very easy to take a taxi down to that port area in Sliema, take your river cruise, and then take a taxi back, or do an independent excursion. If we were to go back, we would exclusively spend our time in Valletta itself. There were so many places to explore. There were also many churches there with some relics we didn't get a chance to go into. Some of those do require tickets in advance, so you're going to want to research that as well.